Hello, I'm Homer Smith, and today I'm interviewing Joe Walsh, the only registered Democrat running for judge of the Erie County Court of Common Pleas. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Homer. It's good to be with you here today and to be able to share my message with the viewers who are turning into cable access television.
Joe, it's good to see you again. And Joe, can you tell me a little bit about the race for the judge of the Erie County Court of Common Pleas?
Sure. There are 4 candidates in the race this year. All of us are cross-filed.
Okay.
We'll be on the Republican ticket and the Democratic ticket. However, I'm the only registered Democrat that's running this year in the judicial race. Even though there'll be 3 other names in addition to mine on the ballot, I'm in the 2nd ballot position on the Democratic ticket and the 3rd on the Republican one.
Joe, that could be confusing for voters who might want to vote a straight Democratic ticket, so voters should be careful when making their selection for judge.
That's right. As I said, I'm the only registered Democrat, so if they want to vote for a Democrat, they'll vote for me.
All right, okay, that's a good thing. Thanks, Joe. So tell me, what else should Democratic voters know about you?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to receive the endorsement of the Erie County Democratic Party.
Yes.
And I've also been humbled to receive the endorsements from Mayor Joyce Savacchio, who so capably served our city for 3 terms,
yes,
as well as retired state representative John Horniman, who also served 3 terms as well.
Those are some pretty impressive endorsements, Joe. Do you have any others?
Yes, I've recently received an endorsement from the Roofers Local 210, which represents a number of tradesmen in Erie and surrounding counties.
Hello there. For those who are joining us right now, I'm Homer Smith, and today I'm interviewing Joe Walsh, who is the only Democrat candidate for the judge of the Erie County Court of Common Pleas. Joe, what else distinguishes you from the other candidates?
Well, for one, I'm very proud of the fact that I served my country for 4 years, our country for
yes,
4 years. I'm the only military veteran in the judicial race. I enlisted in the United States Navy after graduating from high school, Northeast High School, and I served aboard 2 nuclear-powered submarines, the USS Sam Rayburn and the USS John Calhoun, and I was honorably discharged after 4 years, and that was in 1980.
Okay. So you're the only military veteran in the race for judge?
Yes, and it was quite an experience given my rural background.
Okay. Joe, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I've had the opportunity to live or work in many places throughout Erie County during my life. I lived in the city until between 5th and 6th grade, and my family moved out to Northeast, where I grew up on a grape farm, and I consider Northeast home. I've spent time in Edinboro when I went to college there, Corey, where I had an office for about 15 years, McCain, which is where I worked while I was attending college at Edinboro. I lived in Mill Creek and as well as Green Township, and I now live in Fairview. So I understand the values of Erie County voters, having been part of so many great communities. 2 of my sisters still live in Northeast, and I have a sister who still lives in Corey, so I often have the opportunity to get to see them and their families.
Joe, tell me about living in Northeast.
Well, I grew up in a large family. I'm one of 6 kids.
Okay.
So we sort of had no choice but to get along with each other. As I said, I lived on a grape farm, and I had a lot of family responsibilities, from working in the vineyards to helping around the farm.
Okay.
One of my special jobs was taking care of 500 chickens. And I had to feed them, clean up after them, gather the eggs, and sell the eggs. So living on a farm is where I learned a strong work ethic.
And that's good for this race, is that so, Joe?
Yes, I believe so. And then after that, after high school, I was off to the Navy, where I learned the discipline of being in the military, and again, after 4 years, I earned my degree in economics from Edinburgh University, and as I said, I worked in McCain while I was in college, and then I went to law school in Lansing, Michigan, and also worked and paid my way through law school as well.
Joe, tell us about your family.
Okay. My personal situation is I'm married to an outstanding woman, my wife Nancy.
All right.
I have 2 children, son Sean, who's 24, and he's just finishing up his MBA at Penn State Barron.
That's great.
And I have a daughter, Carly, who's 21, and she's a senior at Mercyhurst University. I also have 3 bonus children.
All right.
And I call them bonus children on purpose. Stepchildren is kind of a term that I've never felt comfortable with, and I truly see these children as bonus children.
Right.
Our oldest one is a freshman at Pitt. We have a junior at Cathedral Prep and an 8th grader at Our Lady Christian.
That's great. To our viewers who are just now joining us, we are at the CAT TV studio interviewing Joe Walsh, who is running for judge of the Erie County Court of Common Pleas. Joe Walsh is the only registered Democrat in the race for judge. I want to make it clear that 4 names will appear on the ballot because all candidates are cross-filed on the Democratic and Republican ticket. But again, Joe Walsh is the only registered Democrat. Okay, Joe, can you tell our viewers a little bit about your legal experience?
Certainly. I've had an extensive practice in virtually all areas of the law. But I'd like to focus on some key points. I've served as an assistant city solicitor when I first started practicing in my early years. I have experience in criminal, civil, business, municipal law, real estate, estates, domestic relations, pretty much from A to Z, adoption to zoning, and practically everything in between. There are a couple of areas that I'm really most proud of. The first is I was the first lawyer in Erie to receive training in collaborative law.
Okay.
And what collaborative law is, I sort of learned about this as I was handling a divorce case, and you realize that there's no one there that's kind of watching out for the kids. And so when I had the opportunity to research what collaborative law was about, and it just made so much sense to try and handle cases in that fashion. So I went to Ithaca, New York, and actually took the training course there. And when I came back to Erie, I met with other attorneys who I felt would be receptive to that type of practice. And after a couple of years, I'm now proud to say that we have a collaborative practice group here in Erie that I think is strong and is growing stronger every day.
So you were the first lawyer in the Erie area to receive this training?
Yes, that's correct. And what we have attorneys, financial professionals, mental health professionals, social workers, and we work as a team with the family to try and reach a resolution and make a very difficult situation a bit more bearable and try and minimize the impact that this type of a significant event has not only on the family but most importantly the children.
Okay. That seems to be a great model for making divorce less difficult for all parties. So tell us, Joe, what is the other area of law that is important to you in your candidacy?
Well, I've had the privilege of serving as a mental health review officer for Erie County. I was appointed over 20 years ago by then President Judge Julie Ante, and since that time I have presided over well in excess of 5,000 hearings. And that's a responsibility that I take very, very seriously. And I deal with folks who are charged with crimes or have found themselves in the mental health system. And so I've had the benefit of all those years of experience dealing with people who find themselves in challenging situations, listening to their stories, listening to their cases, and then making decisions or recommendations. And I'm proud to say that of all the cases that I've been involved in, and again, in excess of 5,000, I've not had one case ever appealed.
That's great. That's an astonishing record, and it certainly shows that you have a fair and balanced approach to the law. So beyond the collaborative law and mental health hearings, why should voters cast a vote for you?
Well, I believe that I share the democratic values of the voters in Erie County. I've lived or worked throughout the county and have met so many people, from teachers to laborers to farmers to women business owners, from each area of the county. I share the work ethic of Erie County voters. I share the military experience of Erie County voters. And I, like so many of you, am a father and husband and value family. I have the experience and the work ethic, the democratic values, and the strong sense of country that voters in Erie County believe in, and I want to represent the people of Erie County as their judge.
Joe, as a former assistant city solicitor, and that's where we met, what type of law issues did you address? And you kind of spoke on it earlier, and how did these issues prepare you for the office you want to undertake?
Well, at City Hall, you kind of took whatever came in the door.
Right.
From drafting ordinances to handling claims against the city to sometimes personnel issues to attending council meetings and things of that nature. So you learn to work with people. You learn to work with people that are in challenging situations. So I think that's helped develop who I am as an individual.
Joe, is there anything else you would like to tell the voters?
Well, just that, I think I'm a regular guy. I try and treat everybody fairly, with dignity and with respect, and I would do that with everyone who would appear before me if I'm fortunate enough to be elected as the next judge of the Erie County Court of Common Pleas.
Joe, just one final question before we wrap up. For the common citizen and those families impacted by senseless gun violence and crime, what is your stance on violence, crime, punishment, and rehabilitation?
Yeah, I live in the same community as you do, and we share the same values and beliefs. We want to be able to go anywhere in the city or the county and feel safe, and unfortunately we don't for a variety of reasons. To the extent that we do have problems, you just pick up the paper and every day there's a shooting, east side, west side. It's a horrible situation, and when those people appear before me, you have to evaluate each case as it presents itself.
Right.
If someone deserves and has rehabilitative possibilities, I would certainly look at that. If someone absolutely shows no respect for the law, for fellow citizens, I would have absolutely no hesitation whatsoever to incarcerate them for a significant period of time.
Thank you so much, Joe. Joe, for sharing with me and with our viewers your insights on the judge's race. For our viewers, Joe Walsh is the only registered Democrat candidate running for judge of the Erie County Court of Common Pleas. Thank you again, Joe, and good luck to you. And to our viewers, the primary will be held Tuesday, May 21st. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m., so be sure to cast your ballot. Thanks again, Joe. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you very much, Homer. It's great seeing you again.
Good seeing you as well.
Okay.